Let's shift our focus back to the US-China trade talks. Joining us right now is Jonathan Cheng, China Bureau Chief at the Wall Street Journal. Jonathan, thank you very much for being with us. Has there been any kind of breakthrough in talks between US and China in London so far?
Well, we're just starting out day 2 here. I don't think there's been any breakthrough yet, but I think hopes are high that there will be some sort of an announcement today. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons for both sides to want to make a deal. Each side has the other at a pain point, and each side wants to resolve it. So I think that's really what you're seeing here. But whether or not they can get those details ironed out to the extent that both sides are comfortable with it is another matter. But I think we saw in Geneva just a few weeks ago, the last time the US and China had their top trade negotiators meet, they were able to come to an agreement pretty quickly.
Jonathan, any likelihood of China relaxing export restrictions on rare earth magnets?
Well, I think that's the top demand of the U.S. government. So if there's going to be any deal at all, I would imagine that we would see China relenting on the rare earth export restrictions. Effectively, what China is saying here is that these are, this is a national security issue. It's not to say we won't allow exports, but we need to have them vetted. The problem from the U.S. side is that it's happening too slowly. And so what that's done is actually thrown a monkey wrench into the supply chains for automakers, many of whom rely upon these rare earth metals and for the magnets that are made from them in order to keep production going. So again, this is something that China has some leverage on, and I don't think they'll give it away for free, but I think that's the idea here, that there's something that can be traded here.
And Jonathan, what is China really looking for from these trade talks in Beijing?
Well, obviously, I think in any negotiation, China is going to try to get as much as it can possibly get, and they do have a lot of different asks on a lot of different fronts. The main thing, though, is I think access to semiconductor related products. They're looking to avoid having restrictions on purchases of software that is used to make and design chips, as well as, all sorts of things, lithography machines, just access to high-end chips. So, I mean, that's something that they want to get, and they'll get as much as they can get. I don't think the U.S. is going to give them everything, but I think that they'll push as hard as they can get. And then there are things that go beyond technology as well. We saw the U.S. government basically say that it is going to vet and potentially expel Chinese international students who are studying in the U.S., of which there are more than 200,000. Whether or not we get an agreement that is so broad that it includes international students, I wouldn't be that optimistic that it will be that broad, but it's possible, and it's certainly true that from China's perspective, they would like things like that to be lifted as well.
And Jonathan, why is China not lifting export restrictions on rare earth magnets for India?
Well, I can't explain exactly what the thinking is in Beijing. I mean, I'm in the city, but I don't have access to the decision makers who are making these calls. But it won't be a surprise to your viewers, of course, that there has been a lot of geopolitical tension between China and India in recent years. Some of that has eased, but it doesn't mean that there aren't still issues. The border dispute has still not been resolved, for example. I don't know if that is the reason why. It's possible that China sees India as a rival in terms of doing business in general, and doesn't want to give India the chance to be able to thrive in that same way. I don't know if that is the motivation or not. There may be any number of reasons, but perhaps China is looking for some leverage for some sort of a deal with India. I think right now we're in an environment where I think partly following the example of Donald Trump, many countries are looking very coldly at the leverage that they have over different trading partners, over other countries, and seeking to use them to maximize their own advantage.
All right, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us on Global Lens this evening. And this is a story that we continue to track very closely. We'll be keeping an eye out for the outcome on those trade talks in London. Let's move on and